This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase, list it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Hello, welcome to Unequal Sequel.
Extra.
Yes, straight into your ears from your device of podcasting player. Oh, I don't know. Do you know when Ed Gamble does those really cool ones on Off Menu and he links all the things? You think, oh, wow, I'd really like to do something like that. And then
Yeah.
It's hard. It's harder than it looks and sounds, do an intro to a podcast. What would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah.
For the intro?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never thought about it because it's always your job.
Yeah, and I always fuck it up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unequal Sequel. We are the podcast that discusses sequel-based content. It is September, right?
It is, yeah.
And it's getting to the end of this month. It's been a long one from me. And this day, the day this is released, 60 years ago, a sequel was released.
Yes.
Can anyone have a guess before Rich says what it is? Anyone?
Well, I mean, everyone's going to know because they've surely seen it on their pod player.
This is why you're the brains. Anyway, Rich, go on. Tell them what it is.
It's Goldfinger.
Goldfinger. Da, da. Yes. On the 20th of September, 1964, the third James Bond film was released to the UK masses. It had the budget twice over than the other two. The two previous, it had them combined. So It was the most expensive Bond film at that point released. They thought, fuck it, we're going to go for it on this one.
And they did go for it. They really went for it.
Everything that you love and know about Bond, or you think you love and know about Bond,
it's from this movie. Yeah.
Is from this movie.
Yes.
And it's quite remarkable watching it back going, oh, this, that. So, yeah, I think this is our oldest film we've done an anniversary special on.
I think there are two things about this film. It is our oldest film.
Yep.
And I think it's also the first film we've done where everyone in the cast is dead.
Yes.
I don't think there's anyone from the cast of this movie who's still alive.
Oh, well, if people have been recently listening, Rich only just found out that Sean Connery's dead.
Yeah, all right.
That was a big surprise to him. So that is fantastic. Anyway, let's bit of background history. Probably about 2 years ago now, maybe even 3. Me and Rich did our best, worst, and dream Bond films.
We did, yeah.
So we've watched a lot of these. I watched, before the last one was released, No Time to Die. Me and my wife watched one every Monday up to the release of that film. So the last time I watched Goldfinger, Jesus.
Not actually that long ago, yeah.
Not massive long ago. Obviously, it's one I've watched quite a few times in my life. And that's, Rich, what about you?
I think it's probably the Bond film I've seen the most.
Really?
I think it's probably my dad's favourite, so I think we watched it fairly regularly. So, yeah. I think, like you say, I think it's where all the Bond stuff comes from.
Yes. All the famous bits, like the cars, the gadgets.
But also, like, the
Lots of
one-liners.
girls. The one-liners.
Yeah, the one-liners, like, do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. All that kind of stuff, that comes
quotable.
from this, right?
What's your name, Pussy Galore? I must be doing it.
It's so massively inappropriate when you watch it these days. Like,
I'm about to say, has it aged well, the 60-year gap as being a Bond film and being a film?
Now,
and a sequel.
I kind of remember. I remember watching this in the 80s when I was a kid. And thinking, that doesn't seem right. So it hadn't aged well in the 80s. It definitely hasn't aged well now.
I don't know about that. These were on all the time on a Sunday, weren't they, on ITV?
They were, yeah.
And I've watched a lot of Bonds and Goldfingers. I nearly said Goldeneye again. I'm obsessed with that film. And Sean Connery, and there's a big debate of who the best Bond is, and so what, and who's Bond's who, and it depends on the generation or when you're watching or what period you're made to watch by your parents and stuff like that. So, like we said, lots of stuff comes from this Bond. So the DB5, the Aston Martin.
But I mean, that the cars are the stars of this movie, right?
For you,
the DB5 Aston Martin, absolute awesome. But also, there are so many other beautiful cars in this movie.
Like what?
Well, just all of them. I think everything in here is beautiful, right? Like, there's the DB5 is the star.
Yes.
But there's plenty
the
of
coolest
other
car.
Yeah. Like, even like blooming Goldfinger's Rolls Royce.
Yes.
That is a beautiful car.
And the other car, the girl turns up, or Shelley, or whatever the rubbish assassin attempts on Goldfinger, the sister of the other woman that's get painted gold. He loves gold.
Yes, that is true. So I'll have to think about what other cars are in there. So there's obviously the DB5, there's the Rolls Royce. I think it's a Mustang, isn't it? Tilly turns up in the Ford Mustang.
Yes. That's a lovely car.
There's a couple of Mercedes. I'm pretty sure there's like a Ford Thunderbird at one point as well.
You could be making up words now.
There's
the Woodpecker's in here. I love that car. Yes, the Austin Woodpecker.
What about the one that gets crushed in the Crusher? That's a Lincoln Continental.
I even like the truck that the crushed car gets put onto. Like Odd Job.
Yeah.
We haven't even mentioned Odd Job yet.
Yes. So the truck is called a Ford Ranchero, by the way.
There you go. Rich is big into cars. I don't know if anyone knows this by now. I was looking at, the gadgets and just cool things.
That's also really cool. I mean, the gadgets are also very cool.
When the Aston Martin DB5 comes out and he's like Q's going around going, hey, it's got machine guns. I was like, this is amazing. I got a car with guns and an ejector seat. Oh, an ejector seat.
Yeah. I always think when Q's doing the gadgets, whenever I watch a Bond for the first time, whenever Q's doing the gadgets, I always kind of go, how are they going to write that into the story? Like, what's he going to use that for? What plot device is that going to serve?
I still wonder what an ejector seat, how good that could be in a car. But apparently, bad guys like to get in the car and then sit in a passenger seat.
Yeah, apparently so.
So, who would have known? Normally, one of our questions on the anniversary specials are, what were you doing when this film was released? But that's a silly question.
I wasn't even a twinkle. I don't think my dad was barely a twinkle when this film was released.
1964.
So my dad would have been 5 when this movie came out. So, yeah.
That's a hell of a long time ago. Yeah, my dad would have been 6 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
As well. This must have been so cool back then. Like, I know there was 2 previous Bonds. Can you mention those Bonds without looking, by the way?
The ones before this?
Yeah.
Dr. No.
Definitely.
And, what was the second Bond? I know this, don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you.
It's from Russia with Love, right? The second one?
It is from Russia with Love.
And then Goldfinger's the third one, and then Thunderball's the one after this one.
Do you know that? Because at the end of the film they go, and James Bond will return in Thunderball.
No, I didn't. I just remembered the first few. I get lost after that. it then kind of like blurs into one about like Diamonds Are Forever or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Can't remember after that. But the first 4 I can remember.
And they're the good
just
ones
pub quiz knowledge, really.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. I think Goldfinger is the best one of the Sean Connery era.
Yeah.
I think.
Is it the less problematic one of the Sean Connery era now? And I know what you were saying earlier. There's nothing overly bad in this, is there?
No. Oh, wow. I mean,
apart when he's trying to force himself on.
He's just a bit rapey, isn't he? Really, like
he's a bit touchy.
He's a bit touchy. Just a bit rapey.
But that's the aura he puts out. He's a good-looking man at this point. Like
my wife joined me halfway through me watching it, and she was like, it's quite rapey. And she likes Bond. Like all the Bond, she owns all the Bond movies. I don't. She has the box set of all the Bond movies.
He doesn't hit any women in the face in this one though.
No, that's true. No, I don't remember him punching any women in the face. But yeah,
it's a celebration, Rich. Right. Remember, we're meant to be celebrating these films.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I do think I had fun watching it. If you want to celebrate it, I didn't dislike it.
I know what I've completely skipped over, and people will be screaming down their earphones. You know what I've missed, right?
What have you missed?
I want to know the synopsis of Golden Eye, Goldfinger, Golden Ladder, Golden Double O, Goldfinger.
Sorry. You want a synopsis of Goldfinger or Goldeneye? I'm not sure which is which.
Let's start with Goldfinger.
I'm not giving you the synopsis of Goldeneye because I definitely haven't thought of that. Okay, synopsis of Goldfinger. Okay. So James Bond destroys some sort of lab type thing, hidden secret lab. That's where it starts, right? He comes out of the water with a dead seagull on his head.
Yep, drugs.
And, it's a drug lab, is it? Mm-hmm. Sorry. Right, okay. Yeah, well, he blows up some sort of lab thing, and then takes off his suit and goes to a casino, as you do. Where, is it a casino? No, it's a beach, a hotel, bar. Beach bar kind of thing, yeah. And he spots Goldfinger cheating at cards.
You're missing out so much of the plot here.
Am I?
Yeah. He blows up the thing, goes to a bar, tries to sleep with a girl, but someone gets attacked. He knocks him out. That's the end of that mission.
Okay.
Ends up in a hotel, thinks he's on holiday. Turns out he's not on holiday. Felix is there. That's where he gets a memo that he has to keep an eye on Goldfinger. And then there's another M bit after. Anyway, keep going. You're doing all right.
But then he realises that Goldfinger's cheating at cards. And he realises that someone has got binoculars on a balcony and is spotting the cards. So he goes off and finds there's an attractive young lady, so he has sex with her, obviously. And then he wakes up to find out she's been covered in gold paint and is dead from skin suffocation. I still don't know if that's actually a thing.
Or do I? I did want to ask you if that's a thing.
I'm not sure it's a thing, but who knows? Who knows?
Maybe in the 1960s, the paints were different from what they have now.
Yeah, maybe it's lead paint or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not sure at this point, but does it really matter? I'm not sure it does, unless you are Jill Masterson.
It looks great. It's iconic.
He then goes back to London, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do all the kind of they do the the exposition where they tell him that Goldfinger's a gold smuggler and he's trying to smuggle gold in and out of countries, and they're not sure how he does it and stuff. And something to do with Nazi gold. I don't know.
There's always Nazi gold.
And then, is that when they go to the... Oh, no, that's when they play golf. So somehow it gets set up at a golf game with Goldfinger, which Bond cheats and wins. And then Oddjob throws his hat at a statue and chops its head off.
Oddjob's so good. Oddjob's so good. Who throws a shoe? Sorry, no different.
He then goes to Switzerland, I think.
Yeah, Geneva.
And he meets Tilly. I mean, imaginative names. Tilly and Jilly. Tilly is Jilly's sister.
Yeah.
Who is trying to assassinate Goldfinger.
Badly.
Then it turns out that Goldfinger is smuggling the gold by melting it down and turning it into the body panels of his Rolls Royce.
Yep, that is a thing.
I'm not sure that's financially worth it. But anyway, Oddjob then kills Tilly with his hat, because, you do. And Bond wakes up on a jet. how have I got this? Bond gets captured, and he's going to get cut in half with a laser.
Oh, yeah.
But he tricks Goldfinger into thinking he knows more than he does or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how he gets out of that one. And then, gets knocked out, wakes up on a jet by Pussy Galore, the pilot.
Honor Blackman.
Honor Blackman, yeah. Then he escapes, and there's the whole scene with like the mafia. And it turns out, I'm getting too far into this. Basically,
I love it.
Goldfinger kills one of the mafia guys in a car crusher. He gets Oddjob to do it anyway.
He kills them all, doesn't he? He gasses them all.
Oh, yeah. Does he gas them all?
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I only watched this a few days ago. I still can't remember. But it turns out that he's trying to break into Fort Knox by using the Pussy Galore's aeroplanes to drop gas onto Fort Knox to knock everyone out or kill everyone. But actually, he doesn't actually want to rob Fort Knox. He wants to irradiate all the gold. He's being paid by the Chinese.
Yeah, the Koreans.
The Koreans. Okay. To irradiate all the gold, making it useless for 58 years. So it would be fine now.
Yes! We'll have the gold back.
But that would make him inevitably rich because he's got loads of gold and the value of gold would go up, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, he has a dirty bomb and obviously Bond does Bond stuff and solves it.
Yeah, it turns out that Pussy Galore betrays Goldfinger because is she in love with Bond? We're not quite sure, but his sexual powers have convinced him.
He convinces her to do the right thing by raping her?
Stop saying rape.
I'm not over egging it. Like,
there's a scene in the barn where
she is fighting him off.
She does give up a bit of a fight for a while.
For me, right? Okay. Any lads listening out there, right?
Yep.
Follow the cup of tea rule, right? If someone says, I don't want a cup of tea, don't try and force a cup of tea down their throat. All right, lads? If someone's too drunk to accept a cup of tea, don't try and force them to drink a cup of tea. If they say, no thanks, I don't fancy a cup of tea, or even if they say, I fancy a cup of tea, and then change their mind when you've got the kettle on,
could be a bad
don't try and force them to drink a cup of tea, right? So she says, I don't fancy a cup of tea. End of story.
Anyway, apparently it's the 60s. So yeah, she changes the gas and it was all a big facade and everyone is not dead and they, stop the bomb, which is quite exciting, I think. Yeah. There's Oddjob. Yeah. At this point, Goldfinger has changed into a US Marshal's outfit and got away on a plane with Pussy Galore.
Is it a Marshal's outfit? I thought it was like a general or something.
It's a general. Wow.
Yeah. Something like that. An army dude, anyway.
Pussy Galore and Bond fly away at the end, but secretly Goldfinger's on the plane. And then there's a bit of a kerfuffle.
Oh, yeah,
and,
she got this.
Goldfinger gets sucked out of the plane.
Or intentional double entendre there, David.
And then the plane crashes, and then it turns out that Bond and Pussy Galore survives because of a parachute. And then when Pussy Galore wants to get help and saved, Bond says, don't ruin a perfectly good... or is it too early for a rescue or something like that?
This is no time to be rescued, I think is what he says.
And then they go at it again under a parachute.
A bit rapey.
And then John Barrow's music kicks in and it's brilliant. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba.
The music is the best thing about the movie, but that's not saying the movie is bad. I think it's okay. But I famously do not like Bond movies. And I think this is an okay one.
I did want to get that clear in some point in this episode.
But the music is great. And I hope they got an Oscar for the music for this, because it's really good. I think they got nominated, or I don't know if they got nominated for an Oscar, but they got nominated for Best Sound Design or Sound Editing. It was the first Bond film to get an Oscar nomination. The sound is really good. Like the music, the whole soundtrack, and the sound, all really good. Like, yeah.
I think it's a fun film watching it back. It's definitely one of the better ones.
Properly belts out the theme tune, right?
She's still alive.
But, like, it's still good. Is she still alive? Is she?
Shirley Bassey's still alive.
Oh, okay. She's not actually in the movie, so...
No.
Apparently, it's like a young Jimmy Page.
Doing what?
Doing what? Plays on that track. Playing the guitar on that track. Like Jimmy Page. Yeah.
That's very cool.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. Brake kits, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase? List it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Do you want to have a guess at the Rotten Tomatoes score for Goldfinger? I won't make you go through all 27 films.
Rotten Tomatoes. I imagine this is relatively high. We're talking critics or audience? Or
Let's do both. Because we are critics and we are audience.
Yeah, true. So it's a difficult one because there's not going to be loads of critic reviews from the time.
There's on Rotten Tomatoes, there's only 74 critic reviews.
Well, that makes sense. I'm going to go with 68%.
68%?
Yeah. Because I think a lot of those critics be doing it from a modern perspective.
Okay, it's 99%.
Okay. All right, then. 99%. Wowzers. Okay.
It is the highest rated James Bond film on Rotten Tomatoes for critics.
Wow. Okay.
And here's a fact for you. The top 3 are all the first 3 Bonds. So at number 3 is Dr. No with 95%. Number 2 is From Russia with Love with 97%. And number 1 is Goldfinger with 99%. Now, I wanted to ask you, is that just a lot of people going, wasn't it great back then? Or
I think that must be a lot of that. I can't explain that, really. Because they are not... I mean... I don't think From Russia with Love is even a good Bond movie, let alone a good movie.
I like Dr. No. I think Dr. No is a good one. That's got some famous stuff in it, but not as famous as this one.
No, this is definitely the better of the 3. But is it the best Bond movie? Is it as good as Skyfall? No, it isn't.
We've had this discussion. We both know that my favourite is GoldenEye and your favourite is Skyfall.
I don't think it's as good as GoldenEye.
No, or do I. GoldenEye is the best Bond.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, I don't think it's as good as GoldenEye.
The highest rated, newer one is Casino Royale, and that's the 4th. And that's got 94%. Skyfall, 92%. And then there's Thunderball with 85%.
Thunderball?
Thunderball is not a good one, by the way.
Fine. No, it's not a good one. Yeah, that's all weird. What about the audience, then?
I'll get there. Critics, endlessly entertaining, effortlessly performed, is packed with classic moments, which is 100% true. It is forged the formula of tongue-in-cheek, wit, wondrous secret agent toys created by Q, a megalomaniac supervillain bent on world destruction. It was an instant smash hit and turned the series into a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, it's
all
also
true.
Really hammy and,
Yeah, but I think that's hammy because it's 60 years old now. I still think it holds up pretty well as a film. I sat there and watched it and thought, this is fun. I'm having a good time here.
It is fun. It does jump around a fair bit. Yeah.
You're talking about the country.
I mean, I watched... Well, yeah, but also it chops from scene to scene quite quickly. I watch a fair few older movies. I like older movies, and they're not all hammy. They're not all hammy like this. So I don't think it's fair to say it's hammy because it's old.
Is it hammy because these books were on the Ian Fleming's novels at the time? Is that how... Yeah. I haven't read any of the books, by the way. Is that how it comes off page or
Maybe.
we can't really comment on that because we haven't read the books.
No.
Sorry, guys.
I don't really know. Bond's a chauvinistic racist, so, you know, I'm not sure that's... I think that's how he's written. I think that's how he's written.
Come on. Critics. No, audience. Audience
Score.
Audience.
Critics were 99%.
So there's 100,000 plus ratings for audience.
Right, 85 then.
Now, are you saying that because of the 99%, or what do you think?
Well, but the 99% colours what I think. So I think I was going to go for was critics would be in the 60s and the audience would be in the high 70s.
Okay.
I put it up a bit because of the 99%.
Okay, I got you. Audience was 89%.
Okay. Didn't put it up enough.
It's still pretty high.
It is scores. I guess it's fine because it's a 3 out of 5, isn't it? It's a 3 out of 5.
It's definitely a 3 out of 5 film. Especially, and Bond is huge and massive, and most people, which aren't you, really like Bond films. Yes, I will say there are more bad films than good Bond films. I'm that guy. Yeah. But I think when Bond is good, Bond is really good. And I think this is a good one. And I think it's only not great in our eyes, maybe because we've got modernization blinkers on and stuff.
I think for me, it just lacks a bit of decent storytelling. I think it's script-wise that it falls down really for me. I'm not a big person. Action doesn't get me through a movie. Like I was half watching because I've seen this so many times before. I'll admit I was sort of half watching it, and my wife was like, "You're missing the action." I'm like, "I've seen the action 100 times. I don't need to watch the action anymore. It's fine. I know what happens."
It's all a bit cheesy at the end.
It is, yeah.
But
it's very cheesy.
The warm, fuzzy feelings that it still gives me watching a Bond film in this era.
Yeah.
It's like a warm hug of a movie.
And I did, it was more fun than I remember it being. So when I watched it again, I was like, oh, do you know what? It was relatively fun. The time flicked by. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't a chore to watch it, which some Bond movies are a chore to watch, for me anyway.
Mm. Do you think the popularity of Bond, you can see where it came from in this film? Like the seedlings were planted here and you can...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can see that. Because Bond is, for the time, effortlessly cool. And, I think that would be someone you would aspire to, I guess, to be like when you're 5
The famous quote is, every man wants to be
were.
Bond and every woman wants to be with Bond, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's still true.
Not you, but
maybe in the 60s.
Gadgets and the guns.
I'd prefer to be Q.
Yeah, I do like Q. I remember always when his parts come up in the film, I'm always like, I sit forward a little bit. I wonder what crazy little toys he's got going this time.
I'd also sit there and roll my eyes at Bond a bit too much, I think. I find Bond too much. He tries too hard.
Are you happy it's changed so much?
Yeah, I am, but then I'm also not really a massive fan of the new Bonds either. Again, because I think I find the genre difficult, I think. Like the spy genre. Although saying that, I love Slow Horses, and that's spy genre. I don't know, I just find it very kind of stale. Like...
I don't know how we compare Slow Horses to Bond, because Slow Horses is all about, what I say, more about, like... written what's on the page. I mean,
absolutely.
The dialogue
I think that's
delightful.
The difference, right? Is that Slow Horses is all about the writing, whereas I think Bond forgoes decent writing to have action, essentially. So that's probably the difference. I meant that they're both spy genre, so I shouldn't write off the whole genre, is what I'm saying.
No, because Mission Impossible is in there.
Yeah. Bond is the end of the spy genre that doesn't interest me that much. Is that I'm not that interested in men being the hero and saving the girl and whatever.
Are you more of a fan of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy kind of spy?
I kind of do quite like that,
because that's a lot of spies talking, Rich.
Well, yeah, in real life, being a spy is fucking boring.
Well, I remember watching that. I remember watching Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and I was like, "Christ, this is dull." So I was like, let's put Goldfinger on again.
When you're a spy, you're like, I don't know, you're working in a factory and reporting back every couple of months about what you've seen. You know, that being a spy is not exciting. James Bond is the worst fucking spy in the world because everyone knows who he is and he fucking announces it every time he gets there. He's not a spy.
For the whole of this film, the good guy and the bad guy know who's who for the whole of the movie.
Exactly. So it's not really a spy movie. You know,
it's just them trying to play a game with each other a little bit.
I don't know. Because if it was real life, Goldfinger would just have shot him. He'd just be dead.
But he has laser beams.
Well, just laser beam his face off then, you know?
Man, it's so good, that bit. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. That should be in every Bond film.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
It really should be. Was Goldfinger the first time we meet Felix?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Is Felix in Goldfinger? I don't remember.
Yeah, Felix is in Goldfinger.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, of course he is.
He's a recurring character that pops up quite a lot during the whole of the history of Bond, played by very different characters all along.
He is, yeah. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched Dr. No or From Russia with Love, to be honest. So, I'm not 100% sure. You've probably watched them more recently than me. So,
well, when I say recently, when did No Time to Die come out? That was a couple of years ago. So I'm about 3-4 years ago since I last watched this, I imagine. It was definitely, I think, we started it in the pandemic. Obviously, because No Time to Die kept getting pushed back over and over again. And everyone was like, why are they pushing this film back? And then it turned out the ending is about them releasing a virus.
Yeah.
So probably best they did push that one back a little bit now. I remember watching that and thinking, I can see why they pushed this back. Jeez. Anyway, Goldfinger, do you want to rate it?
Yes, I'm not sure if I can unequal sequel it or not because I can't really remember the one before that well. But yeah, out of 7...
Unequal sequel it in the whole of the Bond history then for me.
Unequal sequel is pretty unequal. I think it's one of the better ones.
It is one of the better ones.
From what I remember, From Russia with Love's the second one, right? Like,
yeah.
That I remember that not being good. So I imagine this is an unequal sequel because I think it's better than that.
Okay.
I would give this maybe a 4. Yeah. Probably a 4 out of 7.
I'm going to go 4.5. I think I'm a little bit more.
I think that's probably fair.
I'm
harsher on it than you are. I'm harsher on it than most people would be, I think, just because I'm not that big a fan of Bond.
Yeah. And apart from the bits we've already touched upon, the touchy bits, how has it aged for you? Like, viewing-wise, or, you know, of course some of the gadgets haven't aged, like the map thing, but how's the film itself aged for you?
I think okay. If you take out the racism, the homophobia and the chauvinism, then I'd say it's all right.
What's left, Rich?
Hopefully the actual movie.
The nice drive through Switzerland and stuff.
The cars are great. The music is great.
The planes are great. The effects at that point pretty good, I think. Like, yeah. The reasons lots of people love Bond so much now is mainly down to this movie. I would say, you know, it's got quite a few iconic bits in it, and I think when you watch it back and you find out all those bits are from one film, like her dressed up as gold, the DB5, you know, No Mr. Bond, I Expect You to Die, laser beams, Odd Job, him throwing his hat, you know, stuff like that, Pussy Galore, silly names, a bit of flirting with what's her face, Moneypenny.
I always thought Odd Job was in more than one film.
I don't think
I always thought
not.
he came back in other movies. It's not. No. He's just in this one.
It's all packed in this one film. And I think people will be surprised. 60 years. So happy birthday, Goldfinger. Also, one of the best theme songs, right, out of the Bond films.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's incredible. I will give it a 4 out of 5. I might even start, after saying all those things, I might push to a 5, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I agree. I think every Bond guy has one great Bond film. And I think this could become...
Every Bond actor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
George Lazenby's only got one, so I can only pick his one.
True. So what are the others then?
Well, for me, this one, for Connery.
Yeah.
I think Lazenby. I think for Roger Moore, Live and Let Die is mine.
Oh, not Man with the Golden Gun.
For me, I really like Live and Let Die. It's watching with family on a Sunday, it's all great.
Yeah.
License to Kill is Timothy Dalton's. And I mean, you've only got 2 to pick from, haven't you? Living Daylights. But License to Kill, I remember I had the Matchbox toys, and for some reason my mum and dad maybe let me watch it. And it's quite violent, that one. GoldenEye, obviously, Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. And then Skyfall, I would say, is Daniel Craig's.
Yeah, I agree.
Some people might say Casino Royale, and that's where we are now.
Skyfall's better.
I think Skyfall's a very good film. So happy birthday, 60th anniversary. Let us know what you think. Rich is going to tell how you get in contact through words.
Yeah, tell us what you thought of GoldenEye. GoldenEye? Tell us what you thought of GoldenEye. Yes. It's only because you keep blooming saying it.
I know.
Tell us what you think of Goldfinger, not GoldenEye. So many bloody gold things in Bond, isn't there? Obsessed with gold. But anyway, there we go. Let us know what you think. We're on all the social medias, including the Bad Bird website that's going down the toilet. We are on there. We are at Unequal Sequel on all those ones. You can find us. Just put in the search bar. You'll be able to get hold of us. Or you can send us an email, unequalsequel@hotmail.com. Let us know what you thought of Goldfinger. See if you rewatched it and you think it stands up or not. See what you thought. Yeah, and if you really like our reviews, go back, listen to all our previous reviews. We've got really good ones recently. This might not be a stellar example of an anniversary review, but hey, we try with what we've got. But yeah, go back and listen. There's great ones. We are cracking on with recording season 7 of our interview episodes. That will be coming in October. So that's really not very long now, right? We're talking weeks rather than months now. So yeah, that's going to be coming very shortly. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the auto download button, and we'll drop into your popular choice every single week when that comes out. Please do leave us a review, because we're trying to get to 200 reviews, so we become certified Rotten Tomatoes critics. So please go on Apple Podcasts and tap us out a little review if you can. We'd really like that. That would be brilliant. If you really love us, get yourself onto anotherslice.com/unequal sequel, where for just $2.99 a month you can join our subscription service and get loads of extra stuff. You can hear us talking about Buckaroo Banzai, which is the next thing we're going to be talking about on Disenfranchised. I've got no idea what that's going to be like.
I'm very excited.
Let's see how that goes. But yeah, come and join us on Another Slice. You can find out a little bit more about what we're doing over there.
Yep. So monthly roundup next week, end of September. So getting all your thoughts, the reviews of... We've only had one sequel review, so all your thoughts on Alien Romulus. Oh no, we've had 2. Nope, we've only had one. Beetlejuice. One review. Beetlejuice. We've done the Alien ranking. I know that was quite vocal. A lot of people got involved with that. Thank you very much. Let us know what you think of Goldfinger, the 60th year anniversary. If you're on Disenfranchised or Boxing Mentality, let us know what you think about Rambo 4, Rambo, as I call it, and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, which me and Rich are really looking forward to watching. And I can't wait for September to end, because then I can stop running.
Oh, yeah. Gun sponsor Dave.
Oh, yeah. I have been doing a thing in September when I've had to run 100 miles in September. As I record, I'm on 73. It might not sound a lot to a lot of people, but I have very dodgy legs and knees. And
Dave basically has 1.5 legs, people. Like, this is impressive.
Yeah, I am running on behalf of Cancer Research UK. I will drop a link probably on Friday when this goes out. So if anyone wants to sponsor me, £1 or £2 or whatever, that will be very nice, and I will be in your debt forever. So it's all worthy course, because cancer can go fuck itself.
Yes, it can.
I don't know why that's not the slogan of the cancer research. I'm not quite sure if they're allowed that. Anyway, it is a goodbye from me, so bye-bye, and a goodbye from him.
Bye!
See you on the next one. Sequel to this one. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
I mean, I think 73 miles so far this month is pretty impressive, dude. Right.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
My legs hurt.
I'm not surprised. I don't think I've walked 75 miles, let alone run.
It has made clear, well, one of my knees is in particular is dodgy, and at the moment it just feels like the nuts and bolts are coming out of it, if that makes it. It feels a bit loose. The one I did today felt a little bit better because I didn't go as far, I only did 4 miles, where, we're getting there. I've got days in hand.